Might help if I unmuted myself. Mm. Okay, drops are not enabled. Oh no, it turned pink. Oh shit. I did not want a pink fucking chocobo. Um, so we're starting off with Lotus Pink. Oh, something I have to fix. No. What am I wearing? Oh, good. I will continue MSQ today. I just need to get to level 97. Okay, chat's blocked. Good. So. Oh, sorry. I'm music going? Alright.
Ugh.
I have a vague memory of what we did last time. What in the world? My voice? Why does my voice have to break when I decide to do this today?
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone? I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows. Sorolja has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolja?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria. I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Sorolja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tulihiola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Sorolja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Sorolja is king to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that...
Whoops. No!
Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barriers surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the First. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tulihiola?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolal.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful! If you would follow me.
Isn't a little bit odd for a queen to be walking around on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion? If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course. But you do strike me as the most capable here.
Not entirely wrong. That'll fix that problem. I think it goes without saying. Oh, sorry. My lunch is coming back to say hi. But we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Anyway, any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. Yeah, just a bit. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about XIV as well. Okay. Wait. More east. Possibly up there. Yeah, possibly up there. Inaccessible because it's in there. Yep, it's up there somewhere. Which I'll probably end up going there eventually anyway, so... I trust you have similar farming facilities in Terrell. They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Terrali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue enjoying. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrope has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature could not. What? Electrope. It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly at the outskirts.
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Queen's Fiend? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The Queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Katonye, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as Queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put.
And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Ah, where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That has a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Pepone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
"30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Meaning this place is another reflection.
I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sveen, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasulani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zorolja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am,
That thing on
please,
our waist
you
looked like
needn't
something from
trouble
Kingdom
yourself.
Hearts.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Electrope was much done to improve the efficiency of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old ways of life. And we did not want to force ours upon them. I can read, I swear. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, while the Tuyeli tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding and patience, we Alexandrians and Tirali have learned a great deal from one another. And I am sure there is much you wish to learn as well. So please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Rather than bore you with the lengthy explanations, let's head back to the farm we passed earlier. Something Halo, it is called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. Southwest, on the other side of the wall. Allow me to introduce you to Mahusa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques, indeed, a wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Means fiend, to what do I owe this sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What manner of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here. You know me too well. I thought to seize the opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with a few questions. Though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. It would appear we have her permission, so please, walk around the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead, I'll keep speaking company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not the suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wooklemat's watchful eye. Pray come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. Well, those appear to be fine. As for the power source, you used to know about my job. I tend to the fields, mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start malfunctioning, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I grew up knowing much of anything. I didn't grow up knowing much about anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site then. Well, this is the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside. Which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electro complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the city for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. The way things are laid out, it's almost like post-apocalyptic. With, like, incredibly advanced technology. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? For the most part. So it is. Which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Yipye's Halo, I don't know if that's right, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, and I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it. But it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. I see. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers? Then let us return to the town. Not the town, was the farmer. My bad. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? It's amazing everyone loved their work. A curious observation. Do you not love your own work? Oh, but I jest. It's true that the people of the outskirts seem the most fulfilled. Always, they take their duties with good cheer. And what did you think of our little tour, Namachi? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others called you by that name, and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable indeed. Many still find machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. Been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with energy, and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if these creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it for you. That's most gracious of you to offer, but it's much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the Valve Reserve of Tuliyola. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Luna is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well. I gratefully accept, but please take all care. Piece of cake! Ugh. Sorry. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for the lightning charged beams on our own. Good hunting. Okay. I have not played high level Paladin in a while. And for anybody wondering, an hour in. The reason I'm playing this again is because I've been playing it a lot lately. And I thought I might as well do some more of the story on stream. Because I spent 2 days in a row crafting. Yeah. Kind of over it. Could also do some more duties while we're waiting, but I don't need any more levels at the minute. Oh, you're both alright. Thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you. We truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we might have to ask Zerolja's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction of the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen's Fee. That's enough. If you have grievances, I will hear them later. But to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favoured us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family after all. You seem a good sort, Fiend. That I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. Well, thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come visit us anytime. Do you hear that? No.
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on, in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but She wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end. Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zeraljar resides.
That you'd let us in at all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zeralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zeralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
What the fuck?
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
What's going on? How could he suddenly forget about Namika? As if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Etherite. An old woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be. The fuck? This is twisted. What's that? Do I know a Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I would remember. So they're brainwashing the civilians? Maybe? I don't know, this is fucked. What is the cloud? The soul charges they mentioned. Are they using people's souls to extend life? That's twisted. So, it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. As if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many people at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act, too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepone seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But whom might we ask about this? If we continue making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Ukushu instead. It's been said to try the Thunder Gods. It would be in that direction. Possible. We found it.
What is this?
Ironville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Olympia!
My darling, what now?
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
Fuzzy little bun bun? Massive question mark.
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galul Jaja's kitten? fuzzy face. Ellen Espia was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in, come in! Friends of my Ellen Espia are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place, how are things still getting stranger?
As far as I can tell, that is indeed my mother. I can think of a few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what happened, we'll need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. So wonderful to meet you all. And the students of Baldessian. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, it's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations. We're members of a resistance organization, Oblivion we call ourselves. And our goal is to thwart Zerolja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it was prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see, whimsical appearances notwithstanding. Yours is a serious cause. Right you are. Though, truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is, as I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within the dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. And then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zerolja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your head. Does it have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator. The pinnacle of electro technology. And that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operation. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packed in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to a sudden death. Such as an accident. Such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation. To encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls as a common resource and payment for services rendered. The void sent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind, and similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk. For those of you who don't know, this happened at the end of Endwalker. It was patch quests. Doesn't it dilute your sense of self? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Management? Then the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearer. So if they should suddenly die, their memories will be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and one's sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people by Everkeep's core system, so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators, and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. This is so sick and wrong. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Yahui philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, this system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electro to devise a means to save what lives they could, so that the nation could endure. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believe was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. XIV didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wanted to help us stop Zorolja. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right. But however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Ugh. Is my microphone decided it's not going to work? Oh no, it's working now. Where am I going? Outside. Everyone's here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunder Yard's hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. Better meet an acquaintance of mine. Rika, one of these hunters. I might be here in a second. What are you doing here, and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on. I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Queen's Fiend. Like Queen's Fiend's crown. But they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be out here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Dangerous side. There isn't really much to see. It would, if not for the fact they're weak to light. The Thunder Yard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital for the upkeep of Alexandria's infrastructure. So it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of. If it's not too much trouble, I ask. Of course, in which case, it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can hand yourselves a fuck, right? If you cause a ruckus, slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. Just like Zeroja. I think I understand now how Zeroja was able to turn from the dead and defeat Papa. But I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became like beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the Serpentine warriors. The Serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard, who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the King's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. If we could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls. Those of people and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength, Naturally, they can also be used to ensure that no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you with the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you used the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Streaker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth become fangs, your nails claws. Too many. And you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's forms through the soul of other beings becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the circle of death and rebirth is simply broken, here souls are forcibly taken from before they might reach the ethereal sea, different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations in the reflections are surprising indeed. While we have we have all our thoughts on souls. But the only important thing is we now know what power the Roger has at his disposal. If it is one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliola's concern. With this newfound power, Zerolja has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped, no matter the cost. Time to call in the rest of the Scions. We already did that. They're just in a different spot. I trust you've gained an insight into the use of souls in Alexandria. It's shocking, I know. I was overwhelmed myself at first. I expect you'll need some time to digest it all, but for now, let's head back to Earth and Sky. At this rate, there's something I want to discuss with everyone. Let's take a moment before we head into the tunnel. I'm sorry for delaying us, but I have some thoughts I need to share. In both technology and values, it's plain there's a wide gulf between Tulial and Alexandria. And while Zerolja knows everything about us, we know hardly anything about what he's become. Indeed, we haven't even seen what lies within the enormous tower. Everkeep. So here I'd like to make a proposal. That is, we work with Kakusha and her people. We need to learn as much as we can about the enemy. The quickest way would be to join hands with Oblivion. We've only just met them, I know, and we shouldn't be too quick to trust. But the fact remains that they share our desire to stop Zerolja. Sphene, too, claims to be at odds with the King of Resolve. May I ask why you would cooperate with Oblivion instead? It's simple, really. Their leader is Erevil's mother. Meanwhile, whatever Sphene may feel, she is the ruler of this nation. There's a greater risk in working with her, and less reason to take her at her word. A fair point. And knowing Zerolja, we must assume that his arrangement with Sphene was not made without some consideration. All I know is that it would be heartening to have allies in this strange world. I think everyone would agree that any help we can get would be welcome. Hold on, there's no guarantees that it's actually my mother behind that machine. Without seeing her in the flesh, we can't rule out the possibility of a plot. If it turns out to be a trap, we endanger not only ourselves, but everyone in Tulilal. As you say, we have no proof that it really is Capricia. But I make my proposal in full awareness of this. Whether we're going to war or striving for peace, we need to learn as much as we can. Otherwise we can't hope to do anything meaningful. As it stands, we know too little about this realm. We need to remedy that. We need to study the enemy, and when the time comes, strike down Zerolja for good and all. What's more, I trust you, Embil. You've always had great instincts, earned from your time training under your mother. What if I'm wrong? What if sentiment is clouding my judgment? If it's a trap, then we'll deal with it when it's sprung. It's always the way of it with you. Fine. If you said in this, then I'll say no more. Now that's settled. Let's head inside and secure ourselves some new allies. There's something I need to tell you and your people. We came here for no other reason than to strike down Zerolja. But I thought he was your brother. Do you really mean to kill your own kin? My kin invaded our nation and murdered our people. As Valve resolve, it falls to me to bring him to account. I am prepared to do what I must. I won't hesitate when the time comes. Like us, you and yours oppose Zerolja. In light of this, I propose that we work together to stop him once and for all. I realize that this is sudden, that it's a gamble to trust someone you've only just met. But I would trust in the conviction of anyone who shares in my goal. So fight with me, I beg you. Twins. As you say, our goals align, and I don't doubt your resolve in the least. If you hadn't proposed working together, I would have done so instead. Truth be told, it's been tough going at it alone. While we've gathered ample intelligence, we don't have the strength to take decisive action. Besides, how could we not trust you? My only son is with you. My fuzzy little bun. He's all the reason I need. Now let's decide it. Here's to a fruitful collaboration. Together we'll achieve great things. I'm sure of it. Then let's not waste any time. We've been wondering about Zerolja's whereabouts. Is there a palace inside that tower? After a fashion, the king resides on the uppermost level, but while Queen's Fiend has a penchant for going out in public, he seldom shows himself. What's more, his movements are highly classified. Not even his commanders are privy to that information. If anyone knows where he is at any given time, it could only be the Queen. And if we don't know his whereabouts, Zerolja will eventually march on Tuliolal again. That's when we can go after him. The drawback is we'd have to wait for the invasion to happen. Innocents would be put in harm's way. There's also the possibility that he'll leave everything to his minions, and not command the army in person. No, he'll take to the field. What makes you so certain? My brother has always yearned to surpass our father. That's why he attacked Tuliolal. After waiting for 30 years, the first thing he wanted to do was demonstrate his newfound strength. But killing Papa didn't satisfy him. So now he's bent on proving himself stronger than me and Koana, who bested him in the right of succession. He challenged me to strike him down. He wants a duel to show everyone that he's superior to the Dawn Servant. And he won't let his minions deprive him of that pleasure. Then why hasn't he appeared and given you your chance? Surely he's aware of our presence here. At that, I can only guess. Perhaps he wants to dazzle us with his wondrous realm. But if he won't deign to appear, then we'll force him to do so. Even as we gather intelligence, we make no move to attack him. Show absolutely no interest in a confrontation. Knowing him, he'll tire of waiting and turn his attention to Koana instead. He'll attack Tuliolal again, like he said he would. I see. If you believe this is the best approach, then we have no opposition. Any campaign against Tuliolal requires Zerolja to lead his forces through vanguards. Such a strategy is certainly viable. If we're proceeding with it, though, we should warn those outside. Indeed, they'll need time to prepare their defences. I should be glad to coordinate our efforts. I'm already in regular contact with Y'shtola, and I'll make sure to keep our comrades appraised of developments. You can leave Vanguard to us. We'll send word at the first sign of movement. It seems we have a plan. While we wait for Zerolja to move, you do well to prepare for battle. And it begins with familiarizing yourself with the technology that empowers him. To that end, I'd show you to Oblivion's main headquarters. Oh, I thought this place was it. You'll be impressed to know that we're located right inside the tower, in the residential district of Solution 9. Hiding a tree in the forest, as it were. The only question is how to get you through the checkpoint. About that. Shreen said that she'd make it so we could enter without issue. She did? Curious. She's not supposed to have such authority over the centuries. If I recall correctly, her words were that she would register as guests. I see. Perhaps we're in the clear then. When you're ready, come and meet me at the tower's entrance. Before you head out, give us a moment to introduce ourselves properly, eh? After all, names are good to know when working together. I'm Geo, the leader of this hideout. And the dependable young twins behind me are Nostalgia and Wayakui. Nostalgia's pleasure. My sister and I were born and raised inside the barrier. We've been with Oblivion for 3 years. Our main duties are surveillance and provisioning. Twins, eh? That explains the resemblance. Wayakui is a Tonawata name, unless I'm mistaken. That's right. Our mother is Tiliolan, and our father is Alexandrian. They wanted to honor both cultures. They're beautiful names. Thank you. Though I have no memories of my mother, I like to think I carry a part of her with me. So, what made you decide to join Oblivion? We wanted to avenge our father. Ambrose was his name, and years ago he was taken away after a scuffle with a soldier over a disagreement. It was a minor incident, so at first we clung to the hope that he'd be released. But when months went by and no word from or about him, we made the decision to remove our regulators. We had already lost the memories of our mother, and we didn't want to lose those of our father as well. They've all forgotten about him now, everyone who had known him. Sometime later, we were approached by a member of Oblivion, hoping to get justice for our father. We joined the Order. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to darken the mood. No, I appreciate you sharing this. Together we'll avenge your father. Thank you. Something tells me you have what it takes. Introduce yourself too. Go on. It's pretty much the same story for me. And while my name is Tonawatan, while mine is a Tawan name, I haven't the faintest how things are outside the barrier. It's my dream to go and see it with my own eyes, my mother's homeland. Once peace is restored, you must come and visit. The wilds are beautiful and the food delicious, and everyone's so nice. You'll love it. And that's us here. You'll meet the others in the back room. That's our headquarters. Some of them are a little eccentric, but they have good hearts and all. It isn't exactly my place to say this, but thank you for seeking out your mother. She talks about you so much, it's clear how important you are to her. That's all. Be good to your mother while you still can, eh? Well, we'll let you go now. Feel free to use this hideout as you like. Alright. Oh, sorry, there's more cutscene. I'll go after this.
You've been consorting with Wook Lamont. No matter. I do not know what you are scheming. But when your realm lay on the brink, you were powerless. You had no choice but to turn to me. Whatever sentiment you may feel for her, it is my power you require. Is it not?
Perhaps. And yet, knowing the love that Wook Lamont bears for her people, how she regards them all as kin, I cannot help but wish to spare her the same pain I have suffered. What's more, her friends possess new knowledge. Were we to work together, we might find another path. I know you're loath to consider it, but is there no hope for peace with Tuliolo? What we've already done may be unforgivable, but it needn't continue. You needn't kill your brother and sister.
I slew my only flesh and blood. Yet you attempt to sway me with an appeal to family. The memory of my father's final moments still fills me with disappointment. Age came for him before I did. For long years, I sought to prove the miracle. And weak as he was, defeating him achieved nothing. To kill them is my only recourse. Wook Lamont and Kona, who bested him as he was in his prime.
They are still your siblings, even if not by blood. That such bonds should mean so little to you.
I am bound to no one. Serve none save myself. I made that clear when first you spoke to me in the Golden City. Remember, I could easily kill your beloved family. If you would protect them, cast aside any foolish notions. Your wisdom and abilities are valuable insofar as our goals align. So think well before you act, Queen of Reason. Wook Lamont, if you are Father's worthy successor, then you will find your way to me. But should you fall short, I will lay waste to Tuli Yolal.
What now?
Okay, now I'll go on break. Okay, as it turns out, I cannot find who I'm looking for. Oh, wrong one. Ugh. Yep, not doing that.
ever keep. A tower of electrope piercing a perpetual shroud of storm clouds. Occupying the 9th level of this 12-tiered structure is a residential district called Solution 9. In so naming their home, what hopes did its founders harbor for it? And did it prove the answer they sought?
Spectacular, isn't it? There are more districts throughout the tower, including industrial ones, but Solution 9 is the largest.
Just being here makes my head spin.
Perfectly natural reaction. A city of shimmering electrope, replete with strange technologies that cater to every conceivable need. We never dreamed of the life back home in Tuliolo. Now, while I go and explain the situation to those in the back room, why not take a moment to explore? I believe lived experiences are far more educational than dry explanations. And you want to know more about Sphene and Zoralja's dominion, do you not?
You had me at explore.
I had a feeling you'd be keen.
Just to confirm, while we have been allowed inside, are we also permitted to roam?
Absolutely. As Sphene's registered guest, you'll find you're exempt from the sentry scrutiny. The elevator to the uppermost level. I wouldn't go near that. But other areas should be fine provided you act like you belong.
All right then, we'll show ourselves around.
Yes. Familiarizing ourselves with the technology here will help us prepare for the battles to come.
Try not to enjoy yourselves too much, or you're liable to attract attention.
Once you've explored to your satisfaction, come to the entrance to True View in the eastern sector. The way from there is a little complicated, so I'll send someone to guide you.
Understood. We'll see you later.
I shall speak with the residents. Perhaps one of them will recognize the earring.
What's with this place? How can this all be the inside of a tower?
So, what aren't you telling me? Where are you?
That, I can't reveal yet. Precautions, you understand. Just know that I'm safe. But come, tell me about your adventurer friend. You seem to have a great deal of faith in her. You must have been through a lot together.
You might say that. For instance, we found the entrance to the Golden City.
Wait, what? You did? Elenishpir, why didn't you mention this sooner?
you want to explore together. It's not that I'm scared or anything. Everything is just so different from home, is all.
Ah, come on, Muklamad. Place is huge, man.
There you are! Lamati!
Sphene!
I was worried you might have had trouble at the checkpoint, but I see everything went according to plan.
Well, that's thanks to you.
Now, I know you've scarcely arrived, but I have a request to make of you.
Oh, a request, you say?
Yes, an important one. I'll say it plain. I want you to make peace with Zeralja.
What? I thought you said you weren't on his side.
We have come no closer to seeing eye to eye, nor do I condone his methods. Be that as it may, I don't want you to fight him. I don't want you to regret a decision made in anger and haste. Unequipped with regulators as you are, the risk is too great.
I appreciate your concern, but you ask the impossible. Zeralja murdered our father. His minions slaughtered our countrymen. He will never renounce his war. As vow of resolve, it falls to me to stop him. I know you love your people too, and so you must understand how I feel. Why I cannot, will not back down.
I do understand. All too well. Let me say only this then. Zeralja will use any means to win. If you would protect your people, return to them at once and prepare. prepare as best you can. It may ring hollow coming from the queen of an enemy nation. But unlike me, you still have the power to determine your own fate.
You really are a curious one. Look, you needn't worry for us. We have dependable comrades holding the fort in Tulihyolal. They'll keep everyone safe, so we can devote our attention to affairs here.
Please.
I won't yield on this either.
So you have comrades on whom you can rely. I envy you.
You know, we'd like to learn more about you.
About me?
To be frank, we're still not sure whether or not you're trustworthy. So, if you have a moment, would you show us around the district? That way, we can get to know you better.
You're asking me, the Queen, to show you around? Oh, but I jest. I'm flattered that you've taken an interest in me. Very well. I shall be your guide. You're my guests, after all, and teaching you about my realm would be a pleasure in and of itself. If you like, I can introduce you to my citizens, too. I consider them family, as you do yours.
By all means, we're in your capable hands.
That you are. This will be an enjoyable and enlightening tour, I promise.
Will be fixed. But let's begin then, shall we? I must say I'm really grateful. This place is so fast and confusing, I didn't even know where to begin. While the district may seem daunting in size and structure, all the key facilities are situated near ley nodes. What you call etherites. Remember this and you won't lose your way. Now then, seeing as it is right here, I'll show you the Nexus Arcade first. Please follow me. This complex is home to all manner of shops, from food and daily necessities to technological conveniences. You can find most everything here. Everkeep's interior is vast, as you've observed. This arcade makes it possible for people to acquire what they need in one centralized location. Amazing. How do you get to the upper levels? I don't see stairs. You see those glowing... the glowing pattern over yonder? It's an automatic conveyor. Such contraptions are found throughout Everkeep, allowing us to swiftly move between faraway places. That will spare us some walking. They also made from that strange metal what's-its. Yes, the conveyors are powered by electrode. As a matter of fact, the ore is integrated into about everything in Everkeep, even the floors and walls. By etching arcane circuits upon it, electrode can be used to convert lightning energy to those of other elements. In so doing, we can achieve various effects. For instance, a conversion to wind produces flotation, which is required for the propulsion of our flying vehicles. A conversion to fire, meanwhile, produces light and heat, and it is employed in devices such as street lamps and heaters. There are even self-heating cups that can keep your drink warm. You can make a drink cold if you convert it to ice instead. You certainly can. Our vending machines do just that. What's more, multiple energies can be combined to produce some clever effects. For instance, by manipulating air with wind while projecting light with lightning, it's possible to alter one's appearance. It's almost scary that you can do what you can do with electro. If such a wondrous material existed in our world, I imagine everyone would be fighting over it. They did in her world as well. I'm gonna go on break now, because the person is here now.